In tonight's cover story, helping the homeless. Homelessness is reaching crisis levels in major cities across the country. Here in Chicago, though, an aggressive and comprehensive response to the problem during the pandemic has prevented a surge in numbers.
WJN's Mike Lowe speaks to policymakers about the city's strategy and how to continue progress once COVID relief money is gone.
On a rain-soaked day at the Uptown Homeless Encampment,
this is considered to be Tent City.
56-year-old Joseph Morrow was walking through Clarendon Park.
And then you have some that steal up under the viaduct.
But he might as well have been on an island.
Like you're in the island by yourself. Nobody comes through here to basically see if you're okay, all right, if you're living or you're dead. Every once in a while, some people come through with a bottle of water or some sandwiches or something like that, but other than that, that's it.
Downtown, as the skyscrapers were shrouded in fog,
if it stops raining, I'll figure it out.
Roy Boer was trying to stay out of sight, too.
The trouble is I can't sit on the ground like everybody else because I'll never get back up again.
But we saw him, drenched and downcast.
Do you know where you're going to sleep tonight?
No. Well, I didn't sleep at all last night, and I probably won't sleep at all tonight either.
They are two of the estimated 58,000 Chicago residents experiencing some form of housing instability. On any given night, there are around 4,000 people in shelters and on the street. Just off the Kennedy Expressway, which runs through downtown, our camera caught heartbreak on every street corner. We're reminded, don't look away, but many of us do. Chicago's mayor, however, has been staring the problem in the face.
Next to what's important is affordable, stable housing.
Launching one of the most aggressive and comprehensive homeless outreach programs in the nation.
Last year's budget, we strengthened our social safety net for residents with housing needs by putting $240 million forward in additional investments to support affordable housing initiatives.
New York.
They've cleared out homeless encampments in recent days.
Los Angeles.
The ordinance passed 13-2 during today's vote. It bans encampments on sidewalks, driveways, freeway overpasses.
And other large cities are experiencing a homelessness crisis not seen since the Great Depression. There are many causes for the surge in homelessness, but one stands out today: the skyrocketing cost of housing, which has pushed many people into poverty. Chicago, however, is witnessing something of a success story, a homeless population that is steady, not surging.
Our numbers are holding steady. So based on our annual point in time count, we're seeing between 4,000 to 6,000 homeless individuals, either in shelter or living on the street. They can bring their dog. We have 2 dogs here.
Chicago Department of Family and Support Services Commissioner Brandy Canazzi met us at Franciscan Outreach, a shelter in Pilsen, where Chef Marcus Moore was preparing a meatloaf for 24 people.
So if I put it in the oven at 365 degrees and let it cook for about 3 hours. And take a little of the parsley flakes, give it a color to it.
It's a low barrier shelter patterned off the kind that have been used in San Francisco.
Bada bing, bada boo.
No strict hours, an area for smoking, and food available beyond appointed meal times. It's one way to entice the reluctant residents of the streets to take the first step toward stability.
It's not illegal to live on the street in Chicago. Our role is really to provide outreach and supportive services. So we have what we call an encampment strategy, where we'll go to a location for up to 10 days, bringing government resources.
Some of those resources come from a team that includes social services and healthcare professionals who deliver food and water, and during the pandemic, delivered vaccine to 70% of the people in shelters.
To my knowledge, that is the best that any city did, and it's really testament to all of the partners and all of the work of prioritizing the needs of this community, but then not just keeping it to the shelter piece.
Public Health Commissioner Dr. Allison Arwady has also helped with street medicine teams made up of university medical students that can treat anyone with acute needs. The goal, of course, is to move the people from the streets to stable housing. With financing from the city, Northside Housing and Supportive Services is a shelter operating in a Rogers Park hotel.
How long does the average person stay in the shelter?
The average stay is between 80 and 90 days, but clients can stay for a shorter time as 1 or 2 weeks, or they can stay longer than a year, whatever it takes to get them to transition successfully into permanent housing.
Your support system is not here.
No, not really.
One of them is 59-year-old Clifton Lindsay, who found himself out of work and homeless after a breakup with a girlfriend.
You know, I've been working and doing what I need to do to get my own place.
Lindsay works at Walgreens, stocking shelves and running the register. In fact, 25% of the people living at this shelter are working and saving to find apartments.
You're working to get, you said, your own place, so what do you think that's going to take?
Well, money.
He's trying to save $4,000 because most apartments require a security deposit and a full month's rent to be paid before anyone can move in.
And that can take 3, 4, or 5 months to save that much money. And that's what makes people stay in the shelter system longer. An increase in affordable housing or subsidized rents would really alleviate the problem.
One solution is in this new building in Logan Square. It's built right by the CTA Blue Line, so transportation to work is not a barrier. It is a 100-unit complex that provides affordable and subsidized housing.
What that means essentially is that the Chicago Housing Authority pays for the rent for half of the units and the city pays for the rent for the other half. So we're able to house more families affordably.
The housing department is also spending $1 billion to fund 24 affordable housing developments in 20 different communities across the city.
So it was really important to create an ample space for people to live comfortably.
And is now in the process of buying other buildings.
The Department of Housing received $30 million in Chicago Recovery Fund dollars. And what we intend to do with that is to acquire hotels and motels that it appears are not going to reopen as such post-COVID.
Some city officials worry what will happen to the progress once federal COVID funding dries up.
We've been able to do it with federal COVID funding, but is that the sort of thing that we'll decide to continue to support sort of as a society? We think yes.
Came in, took all the rest of our belongings and threw them away, disposed of them.
And back in Tent City,
To feel like you're in a world with nobody that really cares about you, exception of you. You're just existing. I want to do more than just exist.
there is still a sense of isolation.
So what would help you? What do you need?
Actually, myself, I just need to be able to get the resources that I need to get myself back employed and to move forward. Other than that, I don't want any handouts from anyone.
I don't know. Maybe there is no help.
Chicago's effort to solve the stubborn problem of homelessness is really an answer to the question of what kind of city do we want to be? How does a society and a city treat those in need?
Whatsoever you do to the least of my people,
you've done it to me.
In Uptown's Tent City, Mike Lowe, WGN News.
Thanks to Mike for that story.